What's good, everybody? Thank you for stopping by to visit the channel for this upcoming bowl game preview. If you want to stay updated in the world of college football, if you haven't done so already, make sure you click that subscribe button, click that notification bell, and make sure you select all so you won't miss another video. It's the granddaddy of them all, the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California, between the Pac-12 representative, the Oregon Ducks, and the Big Ten representative, the Wisconsin Badgers. Both teams had quality schedules, and they both field solid defenses with complementing offenses. From the outset, it looks like these two teams mirror each other, but what sets them apart? We'll dive into the resumes to find out. The Ducks had a solid schedule minus the two FCS teams they faced. Their resume is based off the FBS competition they had this year, and they ended up going 3-1 versus the F+ Top 25 with the only loss to Auburn. You can make the case that if not for the loss against Arizona State, Oregon would have easily made the college football playoff. The best unit for the Ducks is their defense, which is not something I am used to saying. At one point in the season, the Ducks fielded the #1 defensive SP Plus team, and they are currently ranked in the top 10 in scoring defense. To back that up, they also had the best opponent offensive SP Plus rating among the New Year's 6 teams. The Ducks defense faced 7 teams ranked in the top 50 of offensive SP Plus. Talk about something we are not used to seeing out of Oregon. Solid comps all around here. Despite what the national pundits say about not scheduling Auburn for the first game of the year, the Tigers are the best adjusted rush defense on the Ducks schedule, and they are 2 spots ahead of Wisconsin in that metric. The Auburn front held the Ducks to under 100 yards rushing in that game at 2.73 yards per carry. But when you remove Justin Herbert's -16 yards on 8 carries, that number goes up to 106 yards at 4.2 yards per carry. Cal's pass defense shows up here, and they are within 10 spots of Wisconsin's adjusted pass defense. Justin Herbert threw for 214 yards at 6.5 yards per attempt, with 1 touchdown and 1 interception with a QBR of under 50. This looks to be an area of concern here if you're a Duck fan, given Herbert's tendency to be on and off in big games, and Jim Leonard's ability to scheme and confuse opposing quarterbacks. This could give the Badgers a huge advantage heading into this game. Now, the offenses that resemble Wisconsin are the Washington State rush offense and the Utah pass offense. Now, the Cougars don't run the ball often, but they are an efficient group when they do, as they are ranked 11th in adjusted rush offense. The Ducks held the Cougars to 40 yards on 15 carries. I don't expect the Badgers to run the ball 15 times for the entire game, though. If anything, they'll eclipse that mark by the second quarter. Now, the outlook on the passing game doesn't bode too well for Wisconsin. The Oregon defense is built to shut down the pass, as they are allowing 6.2 yards per pass attempt. The Ducks held Tyler Huntley to 193 yards on 6.7 yards per pass attempt with 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. This is not a bad schedule either for Wisconsin. The Badgers are tied with Ohio State for the average F+ opponent, and they have the best opponent FPI rating among the New Year's 6 teams. They defeated 3 F+ top 25 teams and had 2 losses to Ohio State. Now, the Badger offense is also battle-tested. Their defensive SP Plus schedule is the equivalent of Kentucky, who is ranked 31st in defensive SP Plus, and they face 6 teams ranked higher than 30th in defensive SP Plus rating. We'll see just how good the defenses in the Big Ten are when they face outside competition during the bowl season. Not a good sign if you're a Wisconsin fan if you're on offense when you see Ohio State listed on defense. The first contest did not give the Badgers a good feeling, but that second contest, though, 200 yards rushing against the vaunted Bucks defense, which was a season high, and 232 yards passing for a total of 432 total yards. It was a brilliant display of offensive execution for the first half until the Bucks found their sea legs. Now, the closest competition to Oregon is the Nebraska offense, but it's not a really good comparison since Nebraska's rating are either 10 spots ahead or below in their respective metrics. The Huskers had a better day on the ground than Ohio State did against the Badger defense, rushing for 273 yards at 7.38 yards per carry, while Adrian Martinez in the passing game threw for 9.6 yards per attempt for 220 yards. From a total yard standpoint, it was the most yards the Badgers gave up all season. Now, as we review the tail of the tape of advanced metrics, there is no advantage in the overall ratings between the two teams. Both teams are within 10 spots of each other in their respective rankings, which indicates pushes in the major metrics. SP Plus gives the Badgers a 57% win probability, and Vegas has the Badgers as a 3-point favorite. There is a lot of red here when Oregon has the ball. The Oregon offense has been up and down from an advanced metric standpoint, and the Pac-12 didn't have a good defensive showing this year, other than Utah, who had a defensive SP Plus ranking in the top 25. The Ducks will be tested here as they are going up against the Badger defense that is gap sound and aggressive on obvious passing downs, as they are the second-ranked team in the country in defensive adjusted sack rate. Where the Ducks can have success is through their explosive plays. The Badgers are 103rd in defensive explosiveness, and they don't get caught out of alignment often based off of their adjusted defensive success rate, but when it does happen, expect for it to go for at least 20 yards, as they are 55th in the country in allowing plays that go for 20 yards or more. Again, there is a lot of red here. The Badgers are not known for being an explosive offense, but they are efficient as hell. The advanced metrics like the Badgers here, but it is not an overwhelming advantage. The Oregon defense is not too far off as they hold advantages on their defensive explosiveness and on obvious passing downs, as their defense is third in the country on passing down defense. But where the bread is buttered though is their powerful offensive line, giving Jonathan Taylor holes to run through. Now, all due respect to Oregon's defense here, Jonathan Taylor is the real deal. If they can slow him down by not committing an extra man in the box, then this game can turn sideways for Wisconsin. The keys to the game for Justin Herbert? It's quite simple, my man. You gotta live up to your draft status. Justin Herbert has the physical tools to make every single throw you want, but there are times he will trust his arm strength over his mechanics. When he trusts his fundamentals, he makes the Oregon offense harder to defend. For Wisconsin, they have to maintain their offensive balance. The Badgers are a top 15 team in both adjusted rushing and passing offenses. If the Badgers can keep the Oregon defense guessing with a mixture of Jonathan Taylor on the ground, then Jack Cohn is able to make throws against that solid Oregon pass defense, then it is going to give the Oregon defense issues. The computer likes the Badgers to win the game by the score of 24-22. The Badgers allow 52% of their opponent's scoring average, and they have scored 149% of what their opponents allow. The Badgers nearly have a 100-point delta between their offensive and defensive scoring efficiency. The three other teams are in the New Year's Six with a better delta are Ohio State, Clemson, and LSU. Oregon allows 57% of their opponent's scoring average, and they have scored 136 above what their opponents usually allow. In a game like this, where you have two teams who mirror each other in the advanced analytics, it is going to come down to who is going to be the first team to blink. Both teams field solid defenses and they are well coached. Wisconsin has good balance running and throwing based on the analytics, but I feel there is something different about Oregon, and they were able to find capable options at wide receiver that makes them a tougher team to stop offensively late in the year. I think I'm going to go with Oregon's ability to make explosive plays, along with their improved defense to get a key stop to the score of 27-24. And this is where I sign off on this game preview. Let me know what your thoughts are in the game in the comment section below. Give me your score prediction and also tell me why your respective team is going to win the game. I hope you enjoyed the video. All I ask is that you give the video a like, and if you love college football as much as I do, hit that subscribe button if you want to stay updated with the latest previews and the occasional highlights. Thank you again for watching, and thank you for visiting the channel.